One of the greatest features of chess is that we can enjoy the games played decades or even hundreds of years ago. This is something very unique to chess. The best tennis rallies or soccer goals are completely lost for us if they happened before television. The best part is that we can learn from the chess giants long after they are gone. Just look at their games and treat each move as a mini lesson. Today, we are going to study a game of 14-year-old Bobby Fischer and see what we can learn from the teenage genius. Fischer plays the Sozin attack. As a matter of fact, Fischer's contribution to the theory of this variation is so big that these days it is frequently called the Fischer-Sozin attack. And here we have our first lesson from Fischer. 1. Play an aggressive opening. It is quite obvious that you have a better chance of attacking the opponent's king if you play the king's gambit rather than the exchange Slav. Nevertheless, I've seen some club players who employ fashionable opening lines, like the classical queen's gambit, and yet complain that they get boring positions where nothing is going on. 2. Learn typical attacking ideas in your opening line. Fischer learned the Russian language and subscribed to Soviet chess magazines to stay on top of the latest opening developments. In the following well-known miniature, he executed a combination that Soviet master Georgy Bastrikov discovered. Can you find it in the position below? In our main game, Fischer used another idea he found in the Soviet chess magazine.
E4 pawn. Knight c3 defends the e4 pawn and starts to develop on the queen side. a6 prepares the queenside pawn advance b7 b5, and also prevents white from playing the bishop or knight to b5. Bishop c4 develops the bishop to an aggressive diagonal, where it helps control the d5 square and attacks the f7 pawn. e6 supports the d5 square and allows the dark-squared bishop to develop to e7. Castling kingside tends to be safer than queenside, because the king is further from the center. The bishop moves forward into the game. Solid choice in the opening. Developing the bishop and increasing influence in the center. Both kings are castled and ready for the middle game. This is not the right idea. This offers an equal trade of pieces. Solid. Continuing with standard opening theory. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. This misses a much better move. This threatens to kick a knight.
3. Eliminate the guards, the opponent's best pieces. Can you find how Fischer did just that in this position? Four. Point your pieces toward the opponent's king. The more pieces that participate in the attack, the better the chance of delivering a checkmate. Ideally, you want to use all your pieces in the attack. What would you play in the next position? 5. Deliver the decisive combination. White's attack looks simple when you break it into basic elements, but it is a deceptive
For
simplicity.
the center in this variation of the Sicilian defense. d6 opens up the light-squared bishop and prevents white from pushing the pawn to e5, after black eventually plays knight f6. d4 offers to trade the d-pawn for the c-pawn, giving up a center pawn for more active pieces. c takes d4 gives black 2 central pawns versus 1 central pawn for white. Knight takes d4 recaptures the pawn and activates the knight in return for having 1 central pawn versus black's 2 central pawns. Knight f6 develops the knight toward the center and attacks the undefended e4 pawn. Knight c3 defends the e4 pawn and starts to develop on the queen side. a6 prepares the queenside pawn advance b7 b5, and also prevents white from playing the bishop or knight to b5. Bishop c4 develops the bishop to an aggressive diagonal, where it helps control the d5 square and attacks the f7 pawn. e6 supports the d5 square and allows the dark-squared bishop to develop to e7. Castling gets the king out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. The bishop moves forward into the game. Solid choice in the opening. White develops the bishop and attacks the center. Both kings are castled and ready for the middle game. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This offers an equal trade of pieces. Textbook play so far. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense. This misses a much better move. This threatens to kick a knight. This forces the opponent to double pawns. Recaptures. The better move was to strike at the center with a pawn. This kicks a knight. This moves the knight to safety. This creates a backward pawn, weakening the pawn structure. This is the only move that works. This moves the queen to safety. The game was close to balanced, but now white has a winning position. There is a different move here that is winning. This missed an opportunity to punish a mistake. A straightforward recapture. This is not the right idea. White's piece has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This threatens to create a passed pawn. The better move was to occupy a strong square and attack a queen at the same time. This is the strongest option. The better move was to block an attack on a vulnerable rook. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. That's fine. The knight is kicked by a pawn and must now. The better move was to move a knight to safety. A clear recapture. Now black can't stop white from winning material if they make the right. This is the only move that works. Ignoring the threat on the knight, a difficult move to see. This loses a rook. This is the only good move. This blocks the check from an opposing queen. This removes a pawn that was threatening to win material. A straightforward recapture. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This is the only move that works. A clear recapture. Very precise. A straightforward recapture. A clear recapture. This was the only move. Right on target.
Yet, if you analyze dozens of attacking games, noticing these little details, at some point, you'll become a nightmare for your opponents who are expecting a quiet, positional game. Good luck! For more such lessons, please like and subscribe our channel. Also comment which lesson would you like to watch next.